Hello there from Parque Warner Madrid. I'm joined by Mark and I'm going to get to go on Batman Gotham City Escape again, but this time in the daylight. So I'm going to be able to form a full opinion, but also get Mark's opinion after a couple of rides. Now we've only just got to the park, it's looking very busy, there is a large queue for it. In this video though, there will be a dedicated review video, first impressions, off-ride footage, bit of statistics, full reviews, a look at the pre-show, and as much off-ride footage as I can possibly get. There is a new POV that the park have done. I will try and get hold of that, but I can't promise that will feature. But just looking at it, Mark, what are you expecting from Batman Gotham City Escape?
I don't know, to be honest, because you look at it off-ride, it's like, looks slow out of the station, looks slow through some of the elements, and it's like, how's it going to feel, you know? Hopefully you get some good air time. I mean, well, you look at you're probably going to get at least probably one pop of air time. The rest, I don't know, to be honest with you. I was hyped for it, saw the testing, I was like, it looks a bit slow for me, so we'll see.
Yeah, because as you know, I have been on it, came on it last month on the preview night. I've not been on it since. I've had 3 rides on it, 2 at the back, 1 at the front. It's going to be great to try it in the daylight as well as doing it in the evening. I really enjoyed it a couple of weeks ago, but I do wonder how much of it is because I'm a Batman fan, I'm a DC Comics fan. As you can probably tell, I've already bought some merch, I've got a Superman top on, but a lot of people said when they watched the vlog the other week that I looked emotional at the end. I was a little bit because I really like this park, and I've said for years that they needed a new roller coaster, and they've gone and built an Intamin, and it was excellent. It was really good. I really like Intamin, I like launch coasters, DC Comics fan, it's like the perfect match. So yeah, I was emotional in that video because I was having a great time and a great evening. Let's see how it is on a normal day at the park though. So I'm so excited to get back on it. Should we go and do it?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Manufactured by Intamin, Batman Gotham City Escape has 4 inversions, has a duration just below 2 minutes. It has 3 excellent launches, one of them a bit slower than the others, but it gets you on your way. It has some really good airtime moments that you really wouldn't expect from this roller coaster when you watch the POV of it, or when you watch it from off-ride. Unless you really sort of concentrate on how it's moving people around in the scene, you wouldn't think that you would get the airtime that you get in parts of this ride. The elements that this ride boasts are as follows, and I am reading off rollercoasterdatabase.com. You've got the LSM launches, corkscrew, the top hat, the reverse sidewinder, the corkscrew, the 0G stall, the vertical rollback, and of course the switch track. It is another Intamin masterclass. Coaster after coaster that Intamin are building are masterclasses. They are the best in class when it comes to launch coasters. They're the best in class when it comes to roller coaster manufacturing at the minute. They're just putting out great coaster after great coaster, and Batman Gotham City Escape is another one of those. Obviously at the minute I've done it more than Mark, I've done it more than Andy, so I could talk about it in terms of reviewing it a little bit more. Mark's done the back row, Andy's done the front row. I'm lucky enough to have done both, so we'll get more opinions from those guys soon, but for now here's some more off-ride footage. And one of the biggest issues that Batman Gotham City Escape has got, or is for the guests, is the queue line experience. Now, you probably heard us moaning a lot in our Portaventura vlogs that the queue jumping was really bad. And again, here we are, Mark, same problem, in a queue that doesn't move.
I just don't understand it. I don't like, just doesn't move forward, and then you'll move forward a little bit, and then you stop again for about what feels like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you move forward a little bit, and then it's 10 minutes. Of course it could go down.
Yeah.
And you just wouldn't know because you're so used to just being stood there still.
Yeah. So yeah, that for me is the biggest issue with this coaster. I'm going to turn around, you see like queue goes a long way behind. A long way behind. Of course, it is a new coaster. You expect a queue, but the issue is most of the queuing is outside, and when it's hot, there's no shade. There's literally no shade. So there's no shade. You have to wait to go in. Basically, that building back there is where you go in, but they only let like 30, 40, 50 people through at a time, and a lot of them are fast pass. So there is probably some improvements to be made with the operational side of it in terms of the queue line experience, because there's a lot of queue jumping. The queue just doesn't move very fast until you get inside. But the issue with that is the best bit of the theming for this ride is inside, but you just walk straight past it. Whereas out here, it's just white walls with not a lot to see. So I do hope when it does close for winter that they do a bit of sorting out with this. Now taken 2 rides on Gotham City Escape. Mark, what's your initial reaction to the 2 rides on it? One was in the back row, and unfortunately one of them was in the 3rd row rather than the front row. Hopefully we'll get a front row go, talk about it in tomorrow's vlog.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
As an overall coaster, for me, it's up there with Velocicoaster.
Yeah.
It is an intimate masterpiece. What they've done with that space, it's got good launches, it's got good hang time, it's got good inversions. You know, the stall is incredible. It really is, and it has massive ejector air time. So
it does.
You know, it's one of those where it's like, wow. I expected a bit of floater on it, but no, it is pure on. You're getting slammed into that restraint. It is, as a coaster itself, phenomenal. The audio works well. You know, it is brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Surpassed expectations.
Oh yeah, by a long way, because when you watch the testing footage, you think, even when you're here, you're like, looks a bit slow that.
It does.
And then when you're on it, doesn't feel slow at all. Even over the top part, yeah, it slows down. When you're in that back row, it's like, once the train releases, you get ejected, pure ejector out of it. So it is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
What do you think from like an off-ride point of view, how it looks, the aesthetic of it, the train lights, obviously the queue's a bit dull, but even the pre-show, without saying whether the pre-show should be there or not, we'll get to that. Just what do you think?
Absolutely fits. Like, I'm not too sure on the Wayne Manor.
No, same.
I've never seen a Wayne Manor that's looked
cream.
Like, you know, it just doesn't fit in. It doesn't fit in with that. The rest of it, I think it looks really good round park, and you know, it's basically front and centre. No matter where you look, you can see Batman.
I agree. There is a lot to unpack with the full experience of Batman Gotham City Escape. Now, as a coaster itself, I think that when people go on it, they will probably think it's one of the best coasters in Europe. I certainly hope they do, because I think it is one of the best coasters in Europe. You've got 2 very good launches in there, and obviously there's a boost launch at the start. You've got a lot of air time, you've got hang time, you've got the immersion of the music, you've got, if you're a DC fan, you're going to love the theming, you're going to love the pre-show. The issue is, there's a lot to unpack here, and I think it's going to take us a while to talk about this. as a full experience, the full experience is the part of it that is going to have people saying that other coasters are better than it, because by the time you get to the front of the queue, you're going to be so fatigued with the queue line. There's literally, the board not far from where we stood literally says you cannot reserve a place in the queue for other people. Once you're in the queue, you're in the queue. If you leave it, you start again at the back. Now, unfortunately, that is not enforced, and the second time we've done it today, I'm not exaggerating when I say probably at least an hour's worth of people have walked past. Now, you might be watching it and thinking, you're two big blokes, why are you not saying something? Because it puts you in the wrong. This is not where we live. We can't start telling people who live in Madrid, you're in the wrong, you can't go past me to join the rest of your family. This is the way they queue. But that is not how a theme park works, and Parque Warner have got to do something about it, because for the first time probably since 2002, this park is on the map with roller coaster enthusiasts. People like us are going to travel from all over Europe. The annoying thing about it is it really will ruin the experience for people who have not been here before, who will not come here again. They might only get one opportunity to do this coaster, and they might have that experience ruined by the awful queuing experience that is not managed well. There is no staff monitoring it. There is nobody on the entrance. There is nobody in the queues. There is one guy who takes you in that building. One guy to monitor a queue line, which is massive. The queue line is probably long enough to hold 4 hours worth of people. The queuing experience is dreadful. And I really hate to say it, because Parque Warner have been amazing to me in this channel this year by not only inviting us on the press event, but also offering tickets to make another visit to the park. It's just so annoying that it's just one simple thing that they can sort. Have security in the queue line, have extra staff in the queue line, or have a virtual queuing system. I really like this park. I think I'm biased, I'm a DC fan. I like the coaster for its merits, not just because it's a DC coaster, but I really genuinely worry that the park will get so much negative feedback of people who have come here for the first time expecting a queue line experience like Taron, like Velocicoaster, like Tutatis, or other intermin coasters that have got monster throughputs, and then they'll literally not move in the queue line. They'll get queue jumped, people banging into them to push past. The ride is one of the best in Europe. If you put this in any UK park, it takes top spot. But the queuing experience is probably bottom spot. That's the issue. And I really hope the park can do something about it, because this is not busy compared to what it will be in July, August. This is quiet compared to what it's going to be in a couple of weeks' time, and that is a very, very worrying thought for the park, really. It's something that needs to be sorted.
Obviously, Scott's obviously mentioned about the queuing experience itself. I don't think it's helped by the pre-show either. Like, you don't move. You literally do not move, and then it's 20 or 40, depends on how many fast passes they've sold. Those obviously go straight on, and you just standing around. And then obviously, because you stood around a while, people are like, well, I'm just going to push past you and try and go through to your mates. Whereas when the queue line's moving, they'd be like, you know what, I'm only a couple of trains behind them. But that maybe 20 people, maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, because it just doesn't move. And when you add all of that in, it just detracts from what is an absolutely phenomenal coaster, and it takes it away from you. You come out of it feeling frustrated, because obviously there is no front row queue, there is no back row queue. You might wait 3 hours after being pushed past by loads of people and go, well, you're going to be on row 3. And it's like, well, thanks. You know what I mean? It's just not good enough. It really isn't good enough, and it's sad, because, you know, if this park was running correctly, people would come here time after time after time during the season. Yeah. Not just as like once a year. They'd come like 2 or 3 times maybe and spend money, and it just puts you off doing that.
Yeah, it does definitely. But moving on from the queuing experience, I think we've dedicated a good 7, 8, 9 minutes to it. The coaster itself, what are the positive things? Because let's be honest, we're going to have to move. Talking of queue line experience. Oh, we're getting in it again. No, can't stumble it. Can't stomach it again. No.
No, you can't. That's the thing. Like, yeah, they close it. It's something to be aware of. They close it 30 minutes before the park.
Yeah.
But that 30 minutes might be, you know, might be waiting in there maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Let's move. People are kicking off.
The airtime on that coaster is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The ejector that you get is one of the best ejectors that you'll get. You know, the first one after the top part, you're literally up and you are thrown into it.
You can sort of feel yourself like curving over the restraint, can't you?
Yeah, it really is. Whereas, like, if you was on an ERT with that, you end up with bruises.
Good bruises.
Yeah, it's one of them where it's like, I am being thrown over. It reminds me of like Steel Vengeance at the time.
Yeah.
In some of it where you literally just get absolutely slammed into the restraint. And more of that because that's genuinely what I enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and I say it's just got the good inversions and that stall is incredible. I really enjoyed it.
We've done a lot of vlogging over the last 3 days, so we're having to rest on anything we can for doing this. Taking out the queue line experience, top 10, yes or no?
I might need some more rides in it tomorrow.
Good job we're here tomorrow then, eh?
Yeah, it could very well be top 10.
Yeah.
It is that good of a coaster. It is the best new Intamin to open this year by a long way. You know, for me to entice into the same league as it, and obviously Uncharted is a different type of coaster.
Yes.
This one,
yeah, absolutely.
It's just worth bearing that in mind. But honestly, it could very well be a top 10 material.
In terms of top 10 coasters, I've got to be honest, I've stopped counting. It's difficult to do a top 10. If I was still doing top 10s, it would probably be in there. It's not like number one. I don't think anything's going to dislodge like Velocicoaster from that. But a lot of people said this is going to be Europe's Velocicoaster, and it ain't far off. Operationally, I don't think it can't be fixed. I think it can be fixed. I think maybe if the pre-show was on a permanent loop and the story was changed a little bit so that you queued inside the building and all through the Batcave, because the Batcave part of it is absolutely stunning. It is a proper, like, you could have taken it out of any film. The issue is you walk straight past it because that bit of the queue, you just walk through it all the way to the air gates. So I think if the queue was just a continuous experience start to finish without the pre-show or with a looping pre-show, I think it would work so much better, and I think it would also discourage the queue jumping thing. I don't know how they handle the queue jumping thing other than maybe they have to employ more staff. I don't know, maybe security has to keep an eye on it, but there's no one, you can't report it to anyone, that's the thing. And I'm really sad that has detracted from the experience of everybody today, because it is an incredible roller coaster, and it is still a coaster that I recommend that everybody watching this video books their flights and comes and rides, because you've just got to do it because it is an incredible coaster. But if you do book it, just be mindful of everything we've said about the queue line. We're really not exaggerating, because we've both, well, there's 4 of us, and every time we've been on it, it's like, that is an incredible coaster. But there is the issue of the queuing experience, which really can be different with a few minor tweaks, which Parque Warner can do. They're a very good park, they've got great people here, they've got good staff here, they could do it. I just think they need to, at the close season, obviously it's the first time they've opened a major new roller coaster since 2002. There's a lot of things that they might not have known before they opened it. It might be a year where they learn about it and go, right, we need to do this better, we did this great. Maybe that is why feedback like this might be helpful. It might be seen as negative. It is negative, but I still think the positives outweigh the negative for the roller coaster experience. It's just that the queuing experience is really not a good one, and I really, really hope that they can do something about it.
I'd just like to reiterate, everyone should come and ride it.
Absolutely.
Everybody should come and ride it and experience it, because it is quality coaster.
Yeah, it is one of the best coasters from Intamin or any manufacturer that you'll ever go on. And what I would say is to anyone that works in a theme park that makes any decisions, please build a roller coaster like Batman Gotham City Escape, because I don't just speak for everybody, but I speak for myself. If you build one, I'll pay the money to be there on their opening day and probably many times after it, because they are incredible coasters that Europe needs a lot more of. That's all from me for now. That's all from you, yeah?
Yeah, all from me.
Many thanks for watching. Please leave a thumbs up if this video was helpful. If you don't agree with us and think that the queuing is alright, please let us know in the comments. Let us know how we can be different in the queues and maybe tolerate the way things are a little bit better. All in all, that's all for now. So many thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next Parque Warner video, which will be filmed tomorrow. Thank you.